We're here today on Maytown Road, and this is Eileen Speer, and she's going to tell us something about this wonderful building that's over here. Eileen?
Okay, when I was a kid, this was the post office. Miss Gatlin is the one that I remember running it then. Now, other people has, but I don't remember who it was.
And did some of your relatives actually live in this house?
My grandmother lived in here.
And what was her name?
Myra Wilkerson.
Myra Wilkinson, okay. And this was back in the 1920s?
No, it was, I wasn't born till 26, so I was a small kid when, I don't know just how old, but.
Okay. And what is this building over here to the left? This was also part of it?
It's a portion of that. I don't know just why it's out like that.
Okay. They might have moved it at one time. Okay. And do you remember coming here to pick the mail up? Or
No,
was it delivered?
I just remember that she was running it, and I was so little though.
Okay. She was the postmaster. Okay. Who are you?
Zanella Creamer. I was originally a Bowles.
Okay. And I understand that you lived in this house for a while?
A short time as a little child. But I remember they've been here for a short time with my grandmother, and sometimes we would walk down this road to the ditches down here and fish.
Oh.
That's what I remember most.
Okay. And what did you, this is the Maytown Road?
Yes.
Okay. And there are ditches on both sides?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. What kind of fish did you catch?
Brim. They were called brim.
A brim, okay. And what did you use for bait?
Worms.
Worms, okay. So you dug the worms and went fishing. And what did you do with the fish? Fry them up?
Ate them.
Okay, very good. Okay, we're going to talk about the section map for the Florida East Coast Railroad Company that shows approximately where we are on the line. And let's go up to the top and start up here. Virgilie, why don't you point out where your house is located and come on down the line.
I think it was right there.
Okay, and what was that originally? That was the foreman's house, section foreman's house.
Yeah.
And what was the next one coming down the line?
Okay, that was the agent's cottage house.
Okay, and then coming
And this
down.
was the plumber's cottage.
Okay, and then
Pumpers.
Yeah.
okay, and then when you come down the line, where was the turnaround?
This line come back and you could turn off here. Say you was coming from New Smyrna way. You come around, you could back into this Okeechobee line and go back out this line here to New Smyrna. Or if
Okay.
you was coming from New Smyrna, you could go straight on across to the Okeechobee line and back in on the Mims line, and then go back to Enterprise.
Very interesting. That was quite a.
It was one of the few places around here you could turn a train around.
Now, right here, there was a water tower, water tank, and a pump house, and 2 wells, and a freight house, a freight transfer shed. Do you remember? Do any of you remember that ever being there, or was that long gone?
I remember it being there. It was where they had that old cart in there.
Yeah, the motor car.
And anyway, they people would get on right there.
Isn't that the same as the depot?
Depot.
The depot. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
The depot was there.
Okay.
The depot was set. Is that it right there? Right there.
Okay. And we'll go out on the. That's.
Yeah, I don't remember the depot either.
Okay.
We played with that thing.
I can't either. Really.
Yeah, I just
Y'all
can't.
were younger.
Yeah. Look how much younger y'all are than I am.
Okay, well,
Not that much.
yeah, let's go, why don't we all go out and we'll take a look on the line and take a look at where some of these places used to be.
You were you were like our babysitter almost. And you were our protector. Seems like I remember one time you had us in the Jeep and we were right down here around the cow pens at the gate, just us kids, you and all us younger ones, and there was a rattlesnake, but you knew how to deal with it, so we were always safe with man.
Now, right across the street here, I'm correct, is where the railroad used to come through here, correct?
Right straight ahead of us, right here.
Right.
Where this, well, you can see it better right down here.
Okay.
Just walk right down this
We'll
way.
walk down this way. This is beautiful out
It
there.
run right along here where this was the bed of it there, and you can see it more when you get right here.
Okay. And it's all been taken up now?
Yeah, it's all gone. But that was it. It went right straight on down there, and you might get over there and get a shot. And down there a ways, but
Okay.
that was it. And this is the one that went to Mims.
And this is the Mims line.
Yep.
Okay. And all that's left, you can see the raised bed a little bit right here.
Uh-huh. There's a ditch right over there.
yeah.
See that little ditch
Yeah, and
there?
the ditch is over
The bed, it
over
was,
on the other side.
it was right along, right about here.
Right in
where
here.
Where we're standing.
Okay. Yeah, and you can see it where it's raised a little bit and goes right down there, right straight
on.
through. Now, what's down that road?
Right on down there, about probably a mile and a half, is that golden siding we used to call it. There was a side track there.
I bet that's where the sawmill was.
It probably was. I don't know. You know, that was before my time, but
Yeah. Now, and that's property that
belongs
is
to the
on
Miami Corporation.
Miami
yes.
Corporation. Okay. But I bet that's where it is, and there's a cow coming out. Two of them. Okay. Beautiful, beautiful out here. We're going to walk north down along where the train track used to be, and over to our left is one of the section houses, and we're going to go in front of it and talk about that. Okay, we're in front of the section house, and tell me something about this section house. Where was it located originally?
It was right down on the corner here where the road crosses back across the railroad bed. It's set right on the left-hand side there,
Okay.
right on the corner. And when they closed the railroad down out here and started dismantling everything, they put these houses up for bid, and my dad bought the houses. He bid on them and bought all they had left out here.
How many were there?
There was two of this size and two smaller ones,
Okay.
and he bought all those houses.
Well, what period of time was this? Like in the 40s, 50s?
No, that was probably around 60.
Oh.
59 or 60 when he bought these houses, didn't
Yeah, oh,
he?
wait a minute.
Moved back from Shiloh.
Yeah, because Shirley was a baby. Because whenever I moved my house, she was a baby in a bassinet.
Probably,
She was born in 57. Around
probably
55.
59 or 6, or would it have been before that?
Yeah,
Well, anyway, right in that
Right in
neighborhood
that-
somewhere.
I
Yeah.
think it would, because she was a baby in a bassinet. And
Somewhere
this one
between
down.
55 and 60.
Now, what was the original section house? Was there anything added on? Like, was this
yes.
side? Okay, what was the original section house?
The original part was where the porch is there. That body of the house back there, and the porch was open.
when the porch was
It was
open.
not screened in
Yeah.
or anything. It was just an open porch.
Okay.
And that was the main body of the house.
Okay, and what did the house consist of? How many, were the bedrooms upstairs? What did it look like?
It was just one big room upstairs, just one big open room, and it had 3 bedrooms, a living room, I think, and 3 bedrooms, didn't it, Virgin?
Living room, dining room,
Yeah.
and three bedrooms.
Yeah.
Kitchen.
And a kitchen? It
kitchen.
had a kitchen?
And a little back porch.
Okay. Okay. And of course, what was the main source of heat? Heat. Did you have a wood
Heat.
stove, or did you have any heat at all?
Gas heat.
Gas heat?
Yeah.
Okay. And it was wired for electric?
Not when he bought it.
Not when he bought it?
Not
okay.
when he bought the house. It was later on. We had an electrician come in and wire it up
Okay.
because there was no electricity here.
No, nothing back here. Yeah.
Nothing here, and he run it for a few years off of a generator.
Oh.
Had it wired up and run a generator.
How many acres are out here on the old homestead?
About 3.
About 3 acres. Well, it's a beautiful piece of property. And did you have cattle?
Yes.
Okay.
This back over to the east side here, he owned that too.
Okay.
It was a 40-acre block here. And he split it down the middle and sold it in 2 20-acre tracts.
Okay.
One of the other houses that sit on the corner down there, he moved over to there where they would have a house on both pieces of it.
Okay. Well, let's walk down the road and we'll talk about what was down at the end of this road.
It was
Okay.
right out here now. See, some of that stuff's growed up. There was a big oak, and that might be what's fell down, y'all. I can't.
Yeah, that was a big one. It died there or
Yeah,
something.
and
that
it was
big
back in there. And they used it for a schoolhouse when Aunt Dot went there. William Allman was
Yeah.
the teacher.
Okay. What was it? A one-room schoolhouse?
Probably.
Remember?
Yeah. I
And
think
after the schoolhouse, I think it used it as a commissary. Remember?
Now, I talked to a guy. He come to the house, taking a survey for agriculture survey, and he said that his mother taught school in this schoolhouse here at Maytown.
You know his name?
Cade.
Cade?
Cade, I believe, was his last name.
Okay.
Well, Aunt Dot, all I know is what Aunt
And
Dot.
he said that his mother taught school in this schoolhouse here
And
at
you know
Maytown.
William Allman, our cousin.
I'll look in that book and then go back to the
You
house
could.
and see.
Okay.
Yeah,
Name might
Guy's
be
brother.
in there.
Yeah.
Okay. What was the name of school? Maytown School? Is that what they called it? Maytown School?
I guess.
Okay.
I don't
Now,
really.
I understand after they quit having the school that they had a commissary there. There was a commissary here in Maytown. And I know there was
I
one
thought it
down.
was the old house out yonder by Rita's.
Have you ever heard that there was 2 schoolhouses here? Well, that book I got shows 2 of them marked out. Shows one here and one right down there.
Okay.
Our,
Well, I don't know
our
now.
dad told me that probably back during the turpentine and all the lumber cutting and all the railroad and everything, that there was probably close to 500 people lived out here.
It
Wow.
was a big place.
He said probably 500.
That's fantastic. Do you remember any of the last names of any of the families by any chance?
No, I don't. I've heard some other names of people that did live here, maybe later on, Gatlin and
Yeah, Gatlin is the one I remember.
Nippers and Gatlins and
Mr. Burke,
Burke.
he worked on the railroad.
Okay.
Bed right there.
This is the main bed right
Where
here.
she's standing over
Oh,
there.
there, okay.
I mean, you
She's
can
up on the bed.
Right.
Lana's walking the bed. So,
It starts moving out.
And right along What about this oak tree here, I guess?
Yeah, that's about it, son.
Yeah, you start seeing it kind of widen out there.
Okay, and that widens out.
That's where the sidetrack started.
Okay.
Where they would,
Right about this this oak tree right here, and that's the sidetrack. Okay, and let me get Lana over here is walking on the bed over here, and you can see it. Who owns that property back there? Did you say?
Maxwell King.
Maxwell King owns the property on the other side of the bed, and that's not his home. It's just a place where he can come and entertain, as I understand. And it's just right on the side of the bed, and it's a very nice place. Has a lot of acreage around it, and you can see it through the woods there. And come out here and have a good old barbecue, probably. Okay. Now where we're standing, the bed comes. You told me that the train bed came here at this oak tree, and
that's where the
had a sidetrack started right about in here at this oak tree, and went down the road. Okay. All right. What did they do?
Had camp cars.
Camp cars.
Were
When they
workers.
They would work and repair the track,
Yeah.
all the lines out here. Well, they'd bring them in here. They called them camp cars.
Ah.
And they would bring them in here, and the whole crew would stay here, and they eat and slept and everything right on the train.
Right on the train.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, interesting.
Now they had a cement slab right out here where what was Hercules Powder Company.
Yeah. That there was way later, though.
Yeah.
What was it? Hercules Powder Company?
Yeah.
Where they got, after they cut the timber, they'd go in and dig the stumps. That's what's on that trailer right down there now, is stumps.
Oh.
Where they dig them. I don't know where they getting them from. They must be getting them out of memory.
Huh.
It was a little bit further on down that side track. It went on down where they could probably put maybe 3 or 4 more cars on.
And the switch was down past it.
Yep.
Another switch.
Yeah, to
So
throw it
they'd
back.
come in here, they pull way down yonder and back in here and go around toward New Smyrna and then come back.
Huh.
Might have to.
Tell them what our names are. This is Lana Burkett, cousin. Virgie Clark.
I mean,
Man Clark. Dog have the mange. And the best thing in the world for that mange is go down and lift that lid up on the wheel of the car, and you could open that little door and get that wadding or whatever it was out of there. It was soaked with oil. Take that and rub the mange on the dog. Of course, the train wheel might have burned up, not having no grease. But don't put that in the book. But yeah, that sidetrack come right off here
I don't think.
and went down about those trees right there,
Uh-huh.
and then it went back in.
Yep.
Yeah, they could put
Several.
8 or 10 cars here and load them with pulpwood and whatever, camp cars.
Now,
No.
my house set
They
right on
was
the
sidetracked
corner
down
there.
to the depot.
Okay, it's that right on the corner?
Yes.
Your
You go
house?
right around.
Okay,
See where the big tall cabbages there? It's set
Uh-huh.
right in there.
right in there. So you were on the other side of the track.
Yeah. And well, all 3 of those big houses sit on that side of the track.
All 3 big section houses set over here?
Yeah.
Okay, so they were right in this area right here, where the
Yeah, they
section
were
houses.
on the other side of the track,
Okay,
lined up.
all lined up right in there. Okay. Now what's in this trailer right here?
That's
There-
stumps.
Okay, and where did they take them out from? Why are they there? Why are they there?
The stumps.
they probably had a truck that they just pull it out here and park it, and then one of their newer, better trucks would haul it from here.
Oh, okay.
It's just a staging area.
Okay, and where did they get them from? I mean, where did they take them from? Why are...
Now, I don't know. Miami Corporation, I guess, is having them dug somewhere. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I don't know
It's
just
Miami
where.
Corporation.
Probably
In the back
down
somewhere.
to the south.
Okay, all right. But the section houses were over
Over here.
in that area right there. Okay. And there, how many were there total?
Yeah, 3.
3. There were
Three of
3 section houses that were here. And what happened to them? They
Dad bought them and moved one of them down here and lived in it, which was the first one.
first
we showed you.
house.
Yeah.
Okay.
The other one is over here, right across from there. You know, the one with some.
Okay.
Mr. King's.
Mr.
The other one
King's.
is this one over here.
Okay. Okay. And the house that Virgie was in sat right here on this corner.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
And
It's
this
set
is
right on this corner, and the other one that's across the road from her, it's set just further back.
Just further back down the road a piece.
Now I think this one over here was in the middle.
And
Yep, that was the middle one.
this one
Okay.
here.
And this
It was the
one
first one moved.
over here, this was the first one moved?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And this is in front of the section house that used to be on this side of the street. That was also moved. Okay, where
The old Shepherd house was
It was
over
out
by-
about where that barn is there, somewhere
The
along
old
there.
Shepherd house was where that, by that old big oak tree. There was an old time house there, the Shepherds.
the shepherds were there. Now your dad owned all, what was his name?
Charlie Clark.
Charlie Clark. This was where the old Clark house was?
No, he just bought this and had these others. Man, you need to-
Yeah.
Okay,
that man.
okay,
Here, and that 20.
okay.
Mr. Erdman. Then Mr. Erdman tried to sell it to me, and I didn't have the money to buy it, so he sold it to Mr. King,
Okay.
and that's who owns it now.
Okay, and all of this here was your mom and dad's?
At one time,
At
the
one
whole
point.
thing was his. Yes,
Okay, how many acres?
40 acres.
40 acres, okay. And it was all just cattle country? Was used for
Yeah,
cattle grazing?
Yeah, mostly. Yeah.
Okay. And was there a cane grinder over there?
Yes, there was.
Okay.
At one time, there was. And he had a pretty good cane patch there a few times, you know, where they would grind the cane and make some syrup.
Okay. Beautiful land. Do you remember where a train wreck was sometime ago on this line?
I believe it was somewhere west of the Lake Harney Road, right beside the Maytown Road here, west of Lake Harney Road.
West of Lake.
I believe it was now.
Are there-
I'm not positive about that.
Okay. Do you know if there are any remnants of the train at all?
Not
Or?
that I know of, no.
Okay. All right. Is there? Where is the old depot located?
Right back here off the Maytown Spur here, when you go back and hit the main Maytown Road, turn to the left, and it was right on the sharp curve there.
Okay.
Right off of that curve.
Okay. Are there any remains of that on the
Don't think
line?
there's a thing there either.
Okay.
Nothing. It's all gone.
All right. Well, we'll take a look and see what we can come up with.
Okay.
Tell me the story about the armadillos.
My two older brothers, they was so many of them around here till the state put a bounty on the armadillos, and they would kill them. What the state needed was their, I believe, the 2 front feet or either a front one and a back one. And they would put them in jars and keep them, and the state would come by over so often, pick them up and pay them for them. I think they got 50 cents a pair.
Wow.
And that was good money back then.
That sure was for armadillo feet, huh? Good grief. Maybe we can work that into the stimulus package.
Need to.
That's cool.
Ross, I'll tell you a little something that's off the record. Off the record. Because I don't know enough about it for it to be on the record. But when I was a child and we lived in my uncle's house down here, we used to go back over in here, and they had these little meadow-like ponds back in there. And we picked something. It was on a long stem, about that long, a very slender little stem, and right at the top was a little button of some kind. Now, I don't know what that was.
Was it white?
Yeah.
A little flat button?
I don't know what that was.
Oh, okay. I'm familiar with that because out in the wild, when I first moved here in Florida, I used to go out in the wild and pick grasses and wildflowers and dry them and sell them in Cocoa Village. And anyhow, I called them my hat pins. And they grew like, it was in like a little wet area, like in a ditch.
Like
And they were straight up and they had a little flat white pin. And I used to call them hat pins.
Well, I don't know what they did with them, but they paid us to go out there and pick those things. And another thing they paid us to do was pick what they call vanilla leaves. Now, some people call it deer tongue. Is that what they
Deer
call it?
tongue.
Yeah.
They use that for medicinal purposes.
And we picked that, and that's another thing that we used to go out there and get for them, and they pay for that. And huckleberries. And huckleberries. This place used to be lousy with huckleberries.
Isn't that something?
And we didn't have to go very far from the house. It's just a little
Meadow right over in there. Isn't that neat?
But I don't know what all that stuff was for.
Well, they used a lot of that stuff for medicinal purposes.
And it was something, I don't remember what it was we used to get for brooms, but I don't know what that was either.
Oh yes, that is a grass, and the farms out at the farmstead, that where I work, that Christian ministry thing. She has a lot of that out there, and she made brooms for the house, and that's what I showed to do the hat. And I want to say, what did she call that? But boy, it makes good brooms.
Yeah, my grandmother used to sit down with a ball of twine
And wrap them.
wrap all these here old. What was
That-
just a limb?
Yeah,
She'd wrap all these here old, just little branches. She'd go out and cut off the trees.
yeah,
All,
little
you
switch.
know,
Yeah,
you know,
switches.
wad, and she'd run that cord around to them and tie them up real good. And that's what she used to sweep the yard with.
Yeah, that's why they called them yard brooms. My husband is from a real rural country place in Arkansas. He grew up on the St. Francis River and little cotton gin town in Arkansas. And anyhow, he always referred to. Here's another interesting house that's on Virgie's property, and we're going to learn a little something about it. It was one of the small section houses, as I understand, that was out on the line. So let's go and talk to these two people about this. Now, what can you tell me about this?
Go ahead.
Well, it was one of the houses that Dad bought when they closed the section line down, and it was a smaller house that some of the workers lived in. And then after he moved it down to here, and then Eileen, my sister here, she used it for a hunting camp. We used to hunt a lot out here in the woods, and she would come up on the weekends and stay in it, and we'd leave from right here and go back in the woods hunting during hunting season. And
We enjoyed it.
So, and what time was this?
That was about 55 because Shirley was a baby. She was born, no, it was 57. She was born in 57.
57.
And she was a little baby whenever
So it was
we were staying in this.
somewhere between 57 and 60, and long and early 60s. Stayed
Okay.
in it. Yeah.
Okay, and that's pretty cool, and it's still standing in really good shape, actually. And
The power's still on in my
The,
name.
yeah, the power's still to it there, and the roof needs some work done on it, but
it still has the brackets up in the corners that was typical of this design. And now, did you cook in this at all?
Yeah, had everything in there.
you cook and sleep and everything.
Had it
Wow.
all fixed up nice.
Isn't that
Bunk
something?
beds and everything.
Bunk beds. Well, it's in very, very good shape. This is marvelous. What a beautiful, beautiful structure. Does anybody use it for anything today?
No, it's Virgie's, and she just, it was a junk collector, I guess. That's
Well-
what it is.
Well, it's in good shape, and we're grateful for everybody for saving these old structures, and maybe future generations will take a look at it. If not in person, we have it recorded now, so
Right.
which is wonderful. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Well,
Was that way down there on the?
No,
Oh, right here.
these little ones.
Well, Jimmy Lee told me that they was one across here, and the one of them he said he used as a cook, kitchen and all.
Yeah, yeah. One of them was turned one
Yeah.
long ways and the other one this way, and they
Yeah.
they did cooking and sleeping.
okay, and that was the same size as this one? Okay. And then the other one that was here was about where that truck is in the shed over there?
Yeah, and
Okay.
it was this size.
And it was
the
this
same
size.
as this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and that just fell down because of
Yeah,
the,
it just
it
got
just
such bad
decayed?
shape, they
And,
just had to tear it down.
yeah, okay. When your daddy was alive and the train was on these tracks across the street over here, tell me about a story about the railroad man.
There was a engineer that run the train through here all the time. He was out of New Smyrna, and when he'd come around, him and my dad was old friends, and he would he knew it was kind of hard to get in and out of out here to pick up anything, so he'd always bring a newspaper by to Dad, and when he'd come around here, he'd be flying, with that train, but he would sling it out of the window when he'd come by.
Home delivery.
Home delivery, and he'd
What was
bring,
his name?
The engineer's name was Dan Doty.
Dan Doty. Good
Yeah.
old Dan Doty.
Dan Doty. And he would bring a newspaper by and drop it off.
That's great.
that was-
That's great. Home delivery right out
Home
here in the
delivery.
boonies. Huh? What was the name? What did everybody refer to that engine as? It had a nickname.
They called it Old Buck.
Do you know why they called it Old Buck?
No, I don't. Do you?
No, without somebody on there that was named that. When they'd say, "Here comes old Buck," and then they say, "Uh-oh, here comes a caboose."
I don't know how it got that name.
That's
Everybody knew it by Buck.
yeah.
Old Buck's a coming.
Did it blow its horn?
Oh yeah.
Did you remember?
And my dad could tell when Doty was coming around the train, because he could tell from the way they blew the whistle, because he'd start way back down the track,
Letting Daddy know.
blowing and doing a certain tune on that thing, and my dad said, "Well, old Dan's a coming."
Had their own signal, huh?
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Wonderful. This is the train bed, what's left of it. It's cleared now. That of the line that went to Okeechobee, and off of Pennyshaw Road, which is now Lake Harney Road. And in this vicinity, there's a ditch over to the side here. And in this area at one time, there was a store on this line and also a sawmill, Virgie Lee told me, in the old days. It's all gone now. There's no evidence of the train track or any of the structures whatsoever. This was the swimming hole that all the kids used to come swimming in, on a hot summer's day, and they used to walk here and have a lot of fun and then walk all the way back. This is off of Lake Harney, and beautiful sight, and as you can see, there's lots of wildlife out here with the birds up in the trees, which is beautiful. There they go in flight. Quite a big portion of them, and really quite beautiful. And Lana said that the reason that she stopped swimming in here is because big old alligator showed up to swim with them, and she didn't like that, so she decided she'd pass from then on out. But there's the end of the road here at Lake Harney, and then over on the other side there's a wonderful old cypress swamp over here, and then there's Lake Harney out here, and which is really quite beautiful. And as I understand, over on the far side is where the Okeechobee line that came from New Smyrna of the railroad crossed over at a place called Osceola Point, and it's over on the other side. Beautiful, beautiful place. This is another swimming hole that the girls used to come and jump in off of a wooden bridge, which is right here on the side of the road. Now it's concrete, put in concrete, but there used to be an old wooden bridge that went across here. And as you can see, it's a beautiful spot to go swimming in. And then we go across, so we're at almost at the end, and we go across here, and this is beautiful Lake Harney, with the other side where the inlet goes out, and they used to swim over in this area also. Beautiful, serene spot out here on Lake Harney. This is the site of Henry and Lily Clark homestead that was built in the 1800s. It was a very frugal little cracker house, a fine example of a cracker house that's been replicated at the Rowell's Farmstead in Mims, Florida. And this is the site where it originally was located. It since has been moved up to the agricultural park in Bushnell. But this is where it actually was, and it's the grandparents of all the people that were here today. And Charlie Clark was his son, who was their father. The old homestead.